Hey, so I'm back in Michigan after a very long summer, hot summer in Europe and California. And admittedly, it's been a bit of a culture shock. It literally is autumn here. It's actually pretty beautiful and cool. I love autumn, so it's a welcome change. There's an animal behind me, I think. Anyway, that said, I am on my way to work, but I wanted to do a little bit of pruning before I go, or deadheading. And I saw this daisy here. I did do a video in spring on how to prune it if you didn't prune it in the fall before, or if you just did light pruning like I'm going to do right now. But now I'm going to do some fall pruning. So you can see right here the flowers that have withered. And although these have withered, the rest of the stems are nice and green and fine. You don't have to cut these off at all. And since it's in partial shade, you might want to leave these stems and leaves to gather as much sunlight as they can to strengthen the plant at the root. There are some yellow leaves that you can just pull off if they want to come off. Just try not to do damage to the stem if you're going to do that. And if you take a little bit of a deep dive and go behind the scenes, you can see new leaves are growing in. So technically, it's ready to be cut down, these entire stems, if you'd like. I believe I have two types of daisies here. This says Real Deal Shasta Daisy by these tiny ones. And I found this tag here, but I do see a tag back there, but I am a little scared to put my hand in there because of the animal I just heard. Oh, Real Charmer Shasta Daisy for this big one. So I'm going to use these and just follow the stem. The first step you could do is cut right here, but there's a little bug there. You can do this in stages, starting at just below the brown, but there's a little spider there, so I don't want to cut right there. I'm going to cut just below it. It's okay, it'll figure things out. You can still live on that little flower, actually. And there's the cut. I do think it looks kind of awkward, so I might cut a little lower, maybe above what looks like could be a potential flower. I think that looks a little better. So I'll just start with that. Just cut all the brown bits off. This is a longer withered stem. Just cutting right above basically the first green leaf. Here's a seed head. Here's another longer withered stem. Looks like there could be a flower coming from there at some point. There's another longer withered stem. And I don't see any green leaves on that one. So I'm just going to take it all the way down. There's a little flower bud right there. So that's what it looks like if you just deadhead the flowers. Oh, just found one more. At this point you can leave it as is, or if you want to, you could shape it into like a little mound. So just, you know, cut the stems that are on the edge a little bit lower than the ones that are in the middle. But I would still look for potential flowers, like This is a potential flower right in that crevice, so I'm going to cut above it. This stem has multiple potential flowers. There's one. There's one. There's one. There's one. So because this one looks kind of the most developed, I'll cut above that one. So I had to go to work, so I didn't get to finish, but I'm going to now that it's evening. Whoa, look at this tiny poison ivy right in the grass where I was thinking about kneeling. Might as well do a little weeding since I'm down here. I don't want to get my hands dirty. So basically this should be fine. You can still pull out these little leaves that are brown so that it makes it look a little bit more fresh, but these will all turn brown anyway. So if you do want to avoid having to do this later in the season, you can do this instead. You know it's already coming back for next year because of these new leaves in here. So you can just take entire stems that were flowering this year and cut all the way to the bottom. Of course, trying not to cut the new leaves. Here's some more brown leaves. Really, you don't have to do this if you're going to cut them all down to the bottom. I cut this one about an inch from the bottom, but you can go all the way down because there won't be flowers from that stem. So let's see, here's a stem. So here's a thick stem from this growing season. I don't think I cut all the way through on that one. No, I did not. Look at all that new growth around the stem I just cut. Try not to cut the leaves, the new leaves if you can. But if you do, don't worry about it, there are plenty. An angry squirrel up in the tree. And lots of mosquitoes. Okay, focus. I can hear the mosquitoes swarming. That's how it looks so far. A few more. Because this one has buds, I'm going to leave it. Maybe we'll get some more flowers. This one too. So that's what it looks like. It looks kind of funny, but it's surrounded by all these grasses, so maybe they'll hide the awkwardness. I can't handle the mosquitoes, but you get the picture. Let me know if you have any questions.